So to go a little step deeper is that this quantum level of truth is actually our existence. It's this quantum level of truth is our true state of existence. When we're lying, and this is why speaking truth is so important for the integrity of our being, and that's why when we're lying, we're only lying to ourselves because we're cheating ourselves to an extent. When we choose to lie, we're choosing not to face the truth in that moment. We choose to not express the truth of that moment, which wraps into a few different angles. But one of those angles is not being able to accept the consequence in that moment. We're running away from a potential consequence because our beliefs are afraid of that consequence. So ultimately, we can be welcoming fear into our lives through not being able to speak the truth. And this is very detrimental for our being in a temporary existence, because we can all choose to raise above not lying. Therefore, it's not going to be detrimental anymore, because detrimental is a very dense word, but it has a lot of existence within it. And partially that existence can have us in it if we choose to live by the moral compass of potentialities that are trying to hook us to its existence. For example, when we choose to lie, we choose to run away from a true essence or a true existence. And that true existence or that true essence may be the very self trying to tell us that lying isn't going to get us where we want to be. It's trying to communicate with us and also trying to give us examples of why we shouldn't lie. Because when we get caught out for lying, when we get caught out for being dishonest, it makes us look silly. And that's when we continue to lie and ultimately convince ourselves. We go into perpetual states of fear because we feel we always have to lie to keep this sense of imagination from telling us the truth. It's a little bit, and it's not a negative thing, because we often get pushed so far into the corner where we just are constantly like showing knives because we're afraid of just stepping outside of ourselves. We get into this real diluted consciousness, and it's not necessarily a negative thing, but there's some very important keys or parts to understand. One of these parts is that when we continue to lie or continue to not tell the truth, we get more and more afraid that the truth is being held, that we're not accessing that truth. And how this is done is because the more we continue to run away from the truth, the more we back into that corner, and the thoughts in our minds, which is fear, or not always, but the fear in our minds push us further and further in the corner, where we feel that we always have to have our knives out to protect us from these thoughts. And what we must understand, it's not our thoughts which are the enemy. The thoughts are not our enemy. They're actually here to give us a choice. So the thoughts aren't our enemy. And how we're coming across in the world is we're coming across potentially as dishonest people, non-trustworthy people. And this is the ultimate choice we have, is that we can all stand up and choose not to lie anymore. Because when we choose to not lie, we choose to stand up in this present moment and actually coincide with a level of truth within us. It doesn't matter what that level of truth is. It doesn't matter about where we are and what we're feeling, but we can all choose to stand up and say, I'm not going to lie anymore. And watch the manifestation take place, because a lot of us, we don't even comprehend how powerful choosing to not lie is. A lot of us, we lie, but it's not truth. And that very lie, that very inconsistency within our lives does represent an existence within our lives. No matter, it may be unique for everyone, but that existence is living within us, and it may present itself in ways which we don't like. For example, if we lie, we'll wrap this up into a part 3. Pow.